Hi, in this video I'm going to look at what it's safe to cut back and what it's better to leave in the last week in January and early February. I'm Rebecca from the Busy Woman's Garden, and I help busy women find easy and fun ways to get started in the garden and create a nice space to escape to for themselves. So my first one I'm going to look at here are perennials. So perennials are plants that flower every year but die right back in the winter. And when is it okay to cut them and when is it not? And there's one easy rule of thumb that you can use when you're trying to figure this out. And I have in this bed, which I lovingly left for you in a complete mess. There's one quick rule of thumb to help you figure out which is which. So this plant here, which you can see the seed heads are here on it. This one, these are fully dead, and I'm okay to cut this one back, and I can tell that because there's some new growth here clearly visible at the bottom. So I will cut them right back to the ground. And those stems can be composted because they're not weeds, so they're fine. And that's that. That plant there it's an aster actually. That's an aster. So yeah, that's going to come back fine. It's still only the last week in January. February, where I live in Ireland, can be the harshest month of the year, so it is still a little bit early to be cutting. However, there's been a lot of frost and a lot of wet weather, and if you're like me, you're itching to get out in the garden. So the trick is to do enough to give yourself the buzz without doing too much harm. So the ones not to cut back are anywhere you can't see this kind of growth yet. So for example, over here, I have a phlox and there is no sign of life yet. I'm going to leave that alone to be on the safe side. Yeah, you can see it. I'm going to leave that alone for the time being because I'll just wait till I see a little bit of growth before I do anything with it. Hopefully it'll come back. We've had a couple of very hard cold spells, but you won't know until later on. So if the mess of the bed is starting to drive you nuts now that the weather is brightening up, other things you can safely tidy are the likes of this. Now you might not realise it, but these are gladioli stems. So they flowered at the end of last summer, kind of August time. And if you saw that, how easily that came up in my hand, that's ready to go. Anything that's lifting up in your... Thanks, cat. That's my cat, Tom. Anything that's lifting up that easy, there's no problem. You can take that away. So I have a lot of these. And even though there's no sign of life in them, there's not going to be any sign of life in these guys for another couple of months. But when they're lifting up in your hand like that so easily, you can take them away. The same here, these are old nasturtium stems. They can all go and can all be happily composted and there's no problem. So the things you can take away are those with, the things you can cut back are the things with life shown at the end of them or that come away in your hand. And the things to leave are those where there's no life shown yet in them. Other things you need to leave are hydrangeas. So I have my big mop head hydrangea here, and I know some people find the flower heads a little bit messy looking. I actually think they're quite pretty, so they don't bother me. But the advice is to leave those heads on them until the frosts have gone because they protect the new buds coming through. And I don't know if you can pick that up there on the camera, but there are little new shoots coming through, and those heads give just a small little bit of protection from the frost that is very likely to come. Those are the main rules for those kind of plants. I have an example here of a hebe. So this hebe has gone all woody but has survived the frost. I'm going to have a go at rejuvenating that, but not yet. I'm going to wait till March and see what new shoots come out in it. If it's gone too leggy, what happened to that one was a caterpillar ate all the bottom part of it. So I will check that out later on. Other work you can do to tidy up is you can do all weeding. Actually, it's an excellent time to weed your garden because you can take up, they'll come up very easily because the ground is still wet and soft. So by all means weed, by all means clear away the debris that I've been showing here. But otherwise, I'm afraid you're going to just have to sit tight for another little while. We're getting places, but we're not in proper spring yet, and you don't want to damage your plants. And try your very hardest not to walk on the soil. It's still too wet. It'll compact. It makes it harder for anything to grow and come back. So try and stay off your soil until the weather picks up just that little bit more. And enjoy tidying up your gardens. And don't forget to join the Facebook group, like and subscribe and hit the bell here and all that stuff. And check out some of my other videos if you have time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.